Okay, I have posted quiz 3 to Canvas. Quiz 3 and homework 3 are due on Tuesday. Just as a side note, the homework is, good practice for your future classes with the math that you're going to do. The quizzes are problems that I'm trying to pick that are a little bit more like what you're going to see on your exam. So it's similar to homework problems, but a little more pointed at what your test will look like. And again, there are a few people who still need to make an account on xyzhomework.com. And if you are kind of behind on doing that, it's okay. We have the full semester to, complete all of our homework assignments. But you just don't want to create a whole lot of work to do later on. So try to get going on your homework and stay on track with the due dates. These are both due on the 21st. Okay, today I have more notes for homework 3, which is all about graphing lines. We left off talking about horizontal and vertical lines. So we're going to do this example. We will find the equation of the line given the following graph. I'm going to mark 1, 2, 3. And the line goes through 3 horizontally. So looking at a few points on this line, you can go over some number for x, but y equals 3. You can have like a negative number for x, but you have to go up for y equal to 3. So this is where x is any number, y must equal 3. And it's written as just y equals 3. You don't even have to mention x. Or by not including x, it's just assumed that it can be any number. Similar but different question. Find the equation of the line. This time we're going to go this way, just twice. And have a line vertically through -2. So a few points on this line. Let's say you go up 1, and then you have to go 1 for y, you'd have -2 for x. At that point right there. usually you go with x first. So you'd go -2 for x, and then you can go down some number for y. Like maybe -3. So x is always equal to -2 for any of the points on that line. And y can be any number. And that's how you write the equation of that line. And I've mentioned before that to draw a line, you just need 2 points, and then you can connect them with the straight line. And 2 points that are really good to find, or easy to find, are called intercepts, your x and y intercepts. Okay. So for your x-intercept, put y equal to 0. For your y-intercept, you put x equal to 0. Okay, kind of adding this extra part to solve for y, because in my mind, an intercept is a point. So you want to write your x and then your y as your answer. Sometimes people just write down a number as their intercept, which is okay. Like, I understand what you mean, but I would rather have the answer written as a point. I'll just probably ask for you to write your answer as a point. Okay, we're going to take this equation.
Miss Walker,
Oh yeah,
I'm connected on Zoom on my phone right now, but I'm about to connect to my computer. So if you see like a second of my name joining, that's just my computer.
oh, sure, that's okay, no problem.
Thank you.
For sure. All right, I've got find all intercepts. Of y equals -2x minus 1. So all intercepts means like your x-intercept and your y-intercept, just 2. Okay, when you get your x-intercept, put y equal to 0. I'm also just going to put down in our scratch work that to get the y-intercept, that's when we let x equal 0. Let's keep it in this part. X-intercept, y equals 0, so I've got a 0 right here. 0 equals -2x minus 1. And then we're solving for x. Add 1 to both sides, and 1 is equal to -2x. Divide both sides by -2. And x equal to -1/2. And I've had a few people in the past write something like this, which is okay, but I think it's better to write the xy coordinates, like x first, -1/2, y is after that, which we put equal to 0. So I would write this as my answer, or I could probably ask you to write your answer as a point. Okay, other part is where x equals 0. So if x equals 0, then y equals -2 multiplied with 0 and subtract 1. Any number times 0 is 0. And that means y is going to equal -1. And I would still give you credit if you wrote this down, but I would like to have the answer written as a point, with x first and y after. X-intercept, y-intercept. If I wanted to draw that line, I could just plot that point, and connect them. Let's just do that really fast. We're going to go here and sketch a graph. Cool. I need some units. Let's go -1, 2, +1 and 2. -1/2, 0. Be right about here. Between 0 and -1. 0 for x, -1 for y would be there. Then we're going to do our best to connect those dots with a straight line. It's pretty good. I think it'd be good to do one more example about intercepts. So let's just pick a random line. Find the x and y intercepts of. Three x plus 2y equals 6. Cool. I want to start with x-intercept, which is where you put y equal to 0. Which would make this 3x add 2 times 0, and it's equal to 6. Okay, that would make 3x equal to 6. This is going to be 0. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 2. And then I would probably ask for this solution to be written as a point, x first, and y was equal to 0. Let's do the y-intercept. For your y-intercept, we let x equal 0. So we have 3 multiplied with 0. Add 2 times y, and it's equal to 6. Okay, 3 times 0 is 0. Okay, then we've got 2y equal to 6. And divide both sides by 2. I is equal to 3. And write your answer as a point. At least that's my what's it called? Preference. It might not be the same on the homework. I can't remember. Anyway, I would finish this with the point x equal to 0, y equal to 3. So I want to start practicing finding the equation of a line. First, we need to talk about the slope. And there's 2 formulas you can use. And then, we'll do as many examples as we can. Okay, the slope of a line. Let the point x1 comma y1 and the point x2 comma y2, x sub 1, y sub 1, x subscript 2, y sub 2. Okay, these are going to be any 2 points. Let's say be 2 points. The slope of the line that goes through these points is called lowercase m. So the symbol we use for slope is a lowercase m. And you find it by taking the difference of your y values, divide by the difference of the x values. And you just need your subscripts to match. So if you start with the y1 and then subtract your y2, you have to have the x1 subtract x2 in the denominator. But if your difference in y values is going to start with y2 and then you minus y1, you can divide by x2 minus x1. So So you can do it this way, you can do it that way. Either way, you'll get the same slope. Find the slope of the line. Through the points. We're just going to write the point -2, 6. And 5, 7. So I'm going to label my points. This is x1. My other point, I start with x2 and it's followed by y2. Slope is called m. And you take your difference in y values. I'm going to start with this point first. We'll do y1 minus y2. Over x sub 1 and then subtract x sub 2. 6 minus 7. Divided by -2 and then subtract 5. So it's -1 over -7. Should be +1 over 7. Now the question where we're going to find the slope of the line. That goes through 0, -12. And the other point will be -2, 4. Call the slope m. And we will take the difference in y values over difference in x values. This time I'm going to start with y2 and subtract y1. Make sure that what's below here would be an x sub 2 and then minus x sub 1. So you're going to need your subscripts to match. And we'll label our points. Actually, let's do this guy, x1, y1. And this will be called x2, that's y2. Difference in y values is going to be 4 and then minus -12. X sub 2 is over here, so -2 and then subtract 0. 4 plus 12. over -2. (16/-2). And that negative down in the denominator makes this whole number negative. So I'm just going to write it out front. 16/2. 8. Oh, I did this time just to switch it up, but we can do it the other way. I think that's a good idea for showing that it works either way. So this time we're going to find the slope again. Thank you for the question, by the way. Yeah, it doesn't matter which way. And I'm just going to make sure that we like check that out. We're going to put y1 and then y2. And then you just have to have the x1 down here and then the x2 over there. Okay, that would make it -12 minus 4. Yeah, for sure. In the comments. I'm glad that makes sense, but I'm just making sure I do this right. Then we're going to take 0 and minus -2. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, positive 6. Wait, it's a -16, -12, and then even more -16 over that positive 2. It's negative still, and then an 8. So it checks out. Okay, I think we can do the equation of a line. And this is just one of the equations that you can use to create a line. I think this one, let me make sure. Yeah, this one's called slope intercept and the other one's called point slope. So we'll call this slope dash intercept. And then this is where we have y equals mx plus b. So we're going to introduce some of those letters first. Let m and b be real numbers. Then y equals mx plus b. Is the equation of a line with slope m. I think I'm going to see if, yeah, I want to we'll introduce the other equation of a line, and we'll practice finding equations of lines. And then there's I have a little note on how to kind of quickly graph a line when it has this setup, y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's a note we'll come back to. So let's see, to find all of the values in this equation, to find your slope and your intercept b, you either need 2 points or you need 1 point and the slope. So you can either use the 2 points to get the slope and then pick one of them to solve for b. Or you're told what the slope is and then you use your point to solve for b. Okay. There's another equation we can use. It's called point slope form. Of the equation of a line. Through x1, y1. Some point x sub 1, y sub 1. With the slope m is y minus y1 that's equal to the slope times x minus x1. So it's either useful to start with y equals mx plus b, or you can start with this one, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Either one works. It's kind of like that thing we did before, where you can do it either way and we'll get the same answer. Okay, so the first example. Okay, we're going to use the point -2, 3. And slope of m equals 5. To find the equation of the line. That satisfies those conditions. I did it this way. I used this formula. We could also use y equals mx plus b. Maybe we'll do both. I think we're going to have some time today to do extra practice. The first way is try y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is your x value, x1. This is y1. And you have your slope, which we're going to plug in. So y minus 3 equal to 5 times stuff. And that stuff is x minus -2. And we're going to solve for y. So let's distribute. Well, first we're going to put this here as x plus 2 and then distribute the 5. Five times x and 5 times 2. And since it's the equation of a line, it's just usually written with y on one side, and then your x value, 5x. And we're going to add 3 to both sides. So adding 13. I'm going to do this one again, but with the other equation, or let's see, with the y equals mx plus b equation, and we'll get the same line. Okay, so first, you know what the slope is. In the problem, we had slope m equal to 5. You need to figure out what b is. So you can put in your values from the point. This time, instead of calling them x1, y1, let's call it x and y. So 3 equal to 5 times -2 plus b. Back. At the top, we're continuing over 3 equal to -10, and then add b. So add 10 to both sides. Solve for b. B is equal to 13. So you go back to your y equals mx plus b, where you know what m is, it's 5. And you know what b is, it's plus 13. We have the same answer. Just a different way of finding it. Find the equation of the line. Just a sec, I'm gonna get some more ink. Oof, okay, so we're back to the line. With a slope of m equals 1/3. And it goes through the point 9, -3. So you can use the point slope, or you can use y equals mx plus b. I'm kind of a fan of y equals mx plus b, so I'm going to give that a try. It's really nice when they tell you what the slope is, but if you're given 2 points, you can go find the slope and then do the same process. Where we really just need to solve for b, which is called the y-intercept. So you know your slope. Just put in 1/3. And then you want to use your point x and y. This is x. This is y. So -3 equal to 1/3 times 9. Add b. Want to know what our value is for b. So we've got -3 equal to 9/3, which is 3, and then plus a b. Subtract 3 from both sides, and that's -6 equal to b. So for y equals 1/3 x plus b, we know what b is. Y equals 1/3 x plus -6, which is -6. Okay, I want to do one where you're not told what the slope is. We're just given some points. So find the equation of the line that passes through 2 points. Okay, first point will be -8, 7. And my other point is 6, -5. I like to use y equals mx plus b, but I need to know m and b. I have formulas for m. The slope is your difference in y's over your difference in x. So we can go y1 minus y2, as long as what's here is x1, subtract x2. Let's label my points. x1, y1. This would be x2. This is y2. Starting with y1, which is 7, subtract -5. Divide by x1 equal to -8. And you have to subtract whatever x2 is to 6. 7 plus 5 is 12. And please watch out for mistakes. And then we've got a -8 minus 6 is going to be -14. I'm going to simplify my slope. I'm going to factor into 2 times 6 over 2 times 7. 2 over 2 reduces to 1. And 1 times 6 over 7 is 6 over 7. Oh, and don't forget that negative sign. All right, now that I have this slope, I've want to just at least start with y equals -6 over 7x plus b. You need to figure out what is that number b. You can pick either of your points. You put in your x and your y from either the first point or the second point. I'm going to use the second point where x equals 6 and y is -5. But if you choose the other point, we get the same value for b. -5 is equal to -36 over 7 plus b. We're going to add 36 over 7 to both sides. Okay, I need a common denominator. So we're going to multiply -5. And just so it helps me to read the problem, I'm going to put this guy over 1 and multiply 5 with 7 and the denominator with 1 times 7. And then I've got this equal to b. It's negative 35 over 7. Add 36 over 7. That's equal to b. So they've got a common denominator, 7. I can put negative 35 plus 36 over that. Which means b equals 1 over 7. Oh no, I forgot what my slope was. Can someone share in the chat or maybe just, in the video, what was the slope? Because I forgot to write it down.
Negative 6 over 7.
Thank you. Negative 6 over 7. Okay, so we're going to put it all together. Let's be. Okay, let's do one more where we're given 2 points and you find the equation of the line. And the equation of the line that passes through negative 6, 2. And 4, negative 4. And you can use y equals mx plus b, or you can use the point slope form. I like y equals mx plus b. But you have to figure out m, and you also have to find b. So start with m. Let's stick with y1 minus y2. And that's over x1 subtract x2. This will be x1. I'll call this x2. And that's y2. So we're going to take 2 and subtract negative 4. Divided by negative 6 minus 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And then negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. I've got negative of 6, which I'll write as 2 times 3. 10 is 2 times 5. 2 over 2 reduces to 1. And what's left is a negative 3/5. Okay, we have y equals negative 3/5 x plus b. And we still need to find b. Let's see. We want to pick one of the points. Either point is fine. I'm going to pick the first point, negative 6, 2. Where you just take the x value and the y value and put that into what you have so far. Okay, so the y is going to be 2. And we found the slope of negative 3/5. And we're putting an x equal to negative 6. And we're going to solve this for b. Okay, 2 equal to positive 18 over 5 plus b. Subtract 18/5 from both sides. You need a common denominator, so we'll multiply. Over here, I have 2 times 5 over 5. We're going to write 2 over 1 just to be clear. Minus 18/5, and that's my value. So 10 fifths. Subtract 18/5 to get b. So now we have a common denominator. We have 10 minus 18 over 5. And that's my value for b. So negative 8/5 is b. And you finish the problem with y equals mx plus b, where you write down your values for m and b. My slope was negative 3/5. And we're going to add negative 8/5. So it's written like negative 3/5 x minus 8/5. Okay, I'm going to talk about parallel lines and perpendicular lines, and then maybe we can do some more practice of finding equations of lines if there's some time. So parallel lines have the same slope. for perpendicular lines, we're going to start with some instructions. We're going to let the slope not equal 0. Let m not be equal to 0. Then y equals mx plus b is perpendicular to y equals -1 over mx plus b. So the perpendicular line has a slope that is the negative reciprocal of the other slope. Okay, we're going to find the line parallel to y equals 2x minus 3. And it goes through the point 4, 7. So you're going to take this slope, the same exact slope from the line that you're given. So you're going to use m equals 2. And that's because you're asked to find a line that's parallel. So we're using the same slope. And we can take something like y equals mx plus b. And plug in your slope. And use your point. So we have this x and this y on our line. Sure. This is x, this is y. I put in 7 for y and have this equal to 2 times 4. I can solve for b. So 7 equal to 8 plus b. Subtract 8 from each side. -1 equal to b. Then y equals 2x plus -1, which would be y equal to 2x minus 1, is parallel to that line. And it passes through the point that we were given. And it goes through that point. I didn't have to write all of that down, but still, you get it. We're going to do one for perpendicular. So we will find the line perpendicular to y equals 3x plus 7. And the line goes through 0, 9. Okay, so for a perpendicular line, we want to use a slope that is the negative reciprocal of the slope that you have, which we're going to take 3 and write it as 3/1. So the reciprocal is to flip it over, have 1/3, and then we're going to also have it as a negative of 1/3 for the slope. Okay, so we've got y equals negative 1/3 x plus b. Then you solve for b using the point. And your point has x equal to 0. And this is my y, 9. Okay, 9 equal to negative 1/3 times 0. And then add b. So 0 times a number is 0. And we have 9 equal to b. Okay, the line is y equals negative 1/3 x plus 9. Okay, we have a few minutes left. I think that I'm just going to go and give you that note about how to quickly graph a line, especially if it's by hand. And then if you have questions about your homework, we can start class Tuesday with practice from the homework. Okay, so let's get these instructions down just in case. To graph y equals mx plus b. We don't have time. We'll do it next time. So we'll start Tuesday with just some practice graphing. Okay, thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good weekend. Get this to stop recording.